Good morning, evening, afternoon guys, my name is the Aidan and welcome to a comparison video. Today I'm going to be comparing this camera, Canon Ixus 160, which is about $100, to this, the Canon Legria HFR7.6, which is $300. Alright, let's go compare some stuff. Okay, so battery life. The Canon Legria here, it has this gigantic block of a battery on the back. This can record for about 3 hours. It is powering quite a powerful camera, so sort of expected. Charging time, you're gonna be saying about 8 hours from dead to fully charged, so it does take a long time to charge, which is one of actually the main downsides to the camera. You can, however, buy spare batteries for about £20. The Canon Ixus also has a battery life of roughly 3 hours. Charging time is much faster than the Legria. From dead to fully charged, this only takes about 2 hours, so it's really not too shabby. Audio. So both of the microphones on the cameras are the internal microphones. With the Canon Ixus, you can see on the top, there is the microphone, that tiny little hole. Now, with all inbuilt microphones, you're not going to get brilliant sound quality. So this is the sound quality of the Canon Ixus's inbuilt microphone. So it's kind of tinny, it's fairly low quality, and really you don't want to be using that. You want to be using a better microphone like this that I have, which I'm using for this video. Hey, how's it going? Canon Legria is fairly similar. I mean, if you listen now, this is the audio from the Legria's microphone, and it is considerably better than the Canon Ixus, but it's nowhere near as good as this one. To combat the issue of not brilliant audio from these cameras, neither of them have a clip or a port for an external microphone that you can just put on top. If you really wanted good audio and you were filming sort of outside where you can't just carry around this giant microphone here, you would need either lapel mics or a shotgun microphone on a pole. But yeah, that's a downside to both of the cameras. So frame rate, both cameras film at 25 frames per second, which isn't brilliant. You can't really do very good slow motion footage with that. For example, here's a clip of some water splashing, and this is it slowed down to half speed. So the video you'll now see will be playing back at 12.5 frames a second because it's half as slow, so that's half as many frames per second. So this is the Canon Legria's, and this is the Canon Ixus. So if you want to get nice crisp slow-mos, you'd need at least 60 frames a second, ideally 120 frames a second. But for that sort of shutter speed, you're going to be looking at cameras that are upwards of £500. Stabilisation. The Canon Ixus does not have image stabilisation, as far as I know. If you're in something like a car or you're riding a bike and you're holding the camera, it's going to be quite shaky footage. The Canon Legria does have very good image stabilization, which is one of the main selling points of the camera. What I've done is I've rode on a very bumpy tricycle holding the cameras. See how well they get rid of the bumps and shakiness. So this is the Canon Ixus, and this is the Canon Legria. As you can probably see there, the Canon Legria was much smoother than the Ixus because of its optical image stabilization as opposed to digital stabilization, which is pretty bad. Okay, so now zoom. Now in this category, the Canon Legria absolutely destroys the Canon Ixus. The Canon Ixus has 8 times optical zoom, so you can see here, the lens moves to zoom in 8 times, and then it has up to 32 times digital image stabilization, which is essentially it just getting the same image but just focusing on a very small part of it and stretching that out. So you get, with digital zoom, you tend to get much lower quality and quite grainy images because it's not actually zooming in, it's just stretching a very small part of the frame. Canon Legria, however, has 57 times optical zoom, which completely annihilates the Canon Ixus. It's one of the main features of the camera. So I've gone outside and I've found some countryside far away and I've zoomed in on it. So this is the Canon Ixus. and this is the Canon Legria. Finally, you've got filming in low light. The Canon Ixus and the Canon Legria are both pretty good in this category. The Canon Ixus isn't advertised as being brilliant in low light, but it actually does surprisingly well, as you can see in this clip. Okay, so this is the Canon Ixus. I can't really tell how good it is because the screen isn't brilliant. I can tell that there's definitely some noise, but you can still see most things fairly well. The Canon Legria, on the other hand, is one of their main selling points of this camera is its ability to film in low light, and it is pretty good in low light. Okay, so this is the Canon Legria. You can see I'm being lit by street lights, so it's not that bad. But, so there you go. There's a comparison of the Canon Ixus 160 and the Canon Legria HF-R7.6. Interested in either of the cameras, there's a link down below. Personally, I would go for the Canon Legria, as it is a much better camera, but then again, it is 2.5 times the price. So on a budget, the Canon Ixus 160 is a very good camera. But if you're willing to spend a bit more, the Canon Legria is the one to go for. If you're willing to spend sort of $500 plus, then definitely go for a better camera, because there are better cameras out there that you can get for that sort of money. But if you're not willing to spend more than $300, this Canon Legria is your one to buy, as opposed to this Canon Ixus. I mean, you can see here, I'm cutting between the cameras now, and you can see there is a definite change in quality when I go between them. So yeah, there you go. Thank you guys very much for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed this slightly different video, and I will see you guys in the next one. See ya.